In this video today, I'm going to speak about the lecturing duties that you may have as a PhD student. It's worth pointing out that each PhD is different. Not every single sports science PhD will be teaching, but pretty likely that you will. And I'd get some clarity on this. So I'd look at adverts for PhDs, and if you're going for interviews, I would ask about a teaching element of that role. And what you're doing in terms of teaching depends on the PhD, depends on the university. Some PhD students will assist in lectures. Some of them will do tutorials. If the PhD is more practical, their skill set will be put into laboratory sessions. And for PhD students that really enjoy teaching and want more responsibility and show quite a lot of promise in their quality, they can also become module leaders. In terms of hours of teaching, it does vary again, but most PhD students that I've met will teach 4, 5, 6 hours a week. And then when it comes to money, some PhD contracts already have teaching in the contract, so there's no additional money on top of that. But other universities will give you more money to teach. So in the UK, you're looking at maybe 30, 40 pounds an hour. In Australia, I've known some people to get around about $100 per hour, but this does vary across universities and countries. And I've already mentioned it's 4, 5, 6 hours, but this outline will show you that in terms of your preparation and reflection, it does take a lot more time to get teaching right during the week. So firstly, you have to plan. You have to put your slides together. You're thinking about how's that lecture going to look. So you put that together, then you'll rehearse it. So ideally, you're going to go through those slides 2 or 3 times, make sure it's okay. And then you take time to adjust. With those rehearsals, you may realize something needs to change. Then you get to those 6 hours a week. This is the teaching. So you'll deliver the lecture to the students. And then me personally, I'd always reflect. I would go for a coffee afterwards down the road from class and just evaluate. What did I do well? What could I improve on? What could be better in the next lecture? And something I've not touched on yet is the marking as well. So twice a year, you'll be expected to mark exam papers, essays, and this can be another time-consuming process as part of your teaching. So to summarize, it is likely that you'll teach. I've mentioned not every single student will teach, but it is likely that you'll do it. And I would take the opportunities, if you do plan to become a lecturer, take the opportunities whilst they're there. If you go to interviews for a lecturing role after your PhD and you didn't do any teaching, it's very, very difficult because other candidates will have that experience. So take the opportunities whilst you can. It's very, very rewarding. I loved every minute of my teaching during my PhD. But yeah, it can be time consuming. There are periods where it is stressful. You might have data collection for your PhD. You might have something else going on that's keeping you busy, and you have to teach. There have been times where I'm rehearsing my lecture the night before the 9 a.m. lecture. So there are times where you're up against it time-wise, and it can be stressful. Okay, so that was my short video on lecturing duties as a PhD student. If you'd like to discuss this more, you've got the Instagram page there at Sports Science Hacks on Instagram, and you've got Twitter there at CJ Thompson 90. Okay, thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.